Welcome back to Worth Coin, your ultimate destination for uncovering rare coin values, U.S. coin history, and jaw-dropping finds that could be hiding in your pocket change. In today's video, we're talking about the 1969D Jefferson Nickel. At first glance, it may look like just another 5-cent coin, but trust me, once you know its background, minting details, and current value in fine condition, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Let's begin with a little history. The Jefferson Nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. For decades, the design remained relatively unchanged, and the 1969D version is part of that long legacy. What makes the 1969D Jefferson Nickel particularly interesting is that it came at a time when U.S. coinage was still stabilizing after major changes in the early 1960s, especially the removal of silver from most circulating coins. However, the nickel retained its composition made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Now, let's talk mintage. The D mint mark means this coin was minted in Denver. In 1969, the Denver Mint produced over 202 million Jefferson nickels. With such a high mintage, you'd think these coins would be extremely common and worthless today. But here's where condition, rarity in high grades, and collector demand play a huge role. While circulated examples are easy to find, most are heavily worn. A 1969D Jefferson Nickel in fine condition, meaning moderate wear, but all major details visible, holds a bit more value for collectors, especially if the steps on Monticello are partially intact. In fine condition, the average 1969D Jefferson Nickel is worth around $0.1 to $0.25 more than face value, but not enough to retire on. However, if you happen to find one in better condition, like extremely fine or almost uncirculated, that value jumps slightly, often reaching $0.5 or more. And here's the twist: if you ever come across one in uncirculated condition with full steps, you're looking at a value between $10 and $25, sometimes even higher at auction, depending on luster, strike, and overall eye appeal. Full steps refers to the clearly defined steps on Monticello, a feature that's very tough to find from this year in mint, which makes those examples highly collectible. There are also known errors for this date, though they're not extremely common. Keep an eye out for off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubling, especially around Jefferson's eye or the lettering. Any of these error varieties can add significant value, even to a coin in otherwise average condition. So, should you hold onto a 1969D Jefferson Nickel in fine condition? If you're a collector, building a complete Jefferson Nickel set, absolutely, it's a key piece from the late 60s and a nice example of Denver Mint output during that period. But if you're hunting for serious value, your best bet is finding high-grade examples or rare mint errors. Always check the reverse for strong steps, and look closely at the obverse for any signs of doubling or unusual features. In short, the 1969D Jefferson Nickel is a great example of how a coin doesn't have to be rare to be fascinating. It's a piece of American history, and with a bit of patience and a good eye, you might just spot one in better than average shape that earns a spot in your collection or sells for a small premium. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on valuable coin updates. Drop a comment below if you found a 1969D Jefferson Nickel in your collection or pocket change. We'd love to hear your story. This is Worth Coin, where every coin counts. See you in the next one.